2019 has been a really big year for tiny houses, and there's no question about it that this year we've seen some truly spectacular small space design. So in this episode, we're going to take a look back over our past year and some of 2019's tiny house highlights. I always used to believe that there would come a time where I had seen all that there was to see in tiny house world. But the more I see, the more I believe is still out there to be discovered. Human creativity is limitless, and so too are the possibilities of small space design. From our travels this year, here are a few standout highlights. To find out more about each of the homes featured in this video, you can find links to the full tours in the video description. First, we travel to Melbourne, Victoria and the beautiful home of Merle. Constructed by her daughter Fern, Merle's home is designed to be elderly, disability and mobility friendly.
You know, my mum's getting, what do you call it, not older?
No, a more mature age.
More mature age, that's what we call it.
Absolutely.
My mum was in a position where she was moving back to Victoria, where we live with this beautiful cold weather, and didn't want to go into something permanent and away from the family. So we took a journey and said, well, let's build you a tiny.
Before moving into this house, Merle was struggling to be independent, but thanks to some great design, she is now able to once again live independently in her home. Care was taken to ensure the house was completely accessible, with ramps leading up to the home, wide entrances, and zero trip hazards. The house has also been designed to be wheelchair accessible if needed in the future. The height of the countertops were lowered to make it easier for Merle to work in the kitchen. A clever lift mechanism allows Merle easy access to her bed, and heated floors ensure that the home is always comfortable and warm. The incredible porch area has surround cafe blinds, making sure that Merle always has a lovely place to do her craft work and of course watch all of the kangaroos hopping around in the garden. Aging can be difficult, and the loss of independence is a frightening thought. What I love about this story is that it really goes to show how thoughtful design can help people to overcome their mobility challenges. This is a real example of how good design can significantly improve quality of life.
Everything is so easy to use, so easy to clean, so easy to live in. More than easy, it's a joy.
On Vancouver Island, British Columbia, this next tiny house shows that it really is possible to accomplish anything you set your mind to. Matt had absolutely zero building experience when he set out to design and construct his very own tiny house on wheels. Matt overcome some huge challenges to make this build possible, and he admits that when he started constructing his home, he didn't really know what he was getting himself into, but that he has learned in life that it's important to stick to your goals in order to make your dreams come true.
I've learned a lot about perseverance because of a terminal disease that I have. I've got a disease called cystic fibrosis, and there's a lot of pain involved in the journey with that disease. A lot of mental barriers and psychological and spiritual walls that need to be overcome with it. And so I think I've learned a lot about the value of keeping on when things get tough, and I've learned patience through that process with that disease. And so when it came to the house, there's plenty of opportunities to quit because things were getting hard, and because I know the rewards that come from waiting and from pushing through struggle, and the lessons that I've learned about how your emotions can really lie to you, and sticking to your goal, sticking to your vision, how that's more important. I sort of applied those lessons to the build, and I think that's what helped me get through.
He put in the hard work, pushed through the challenges, and the resulting home is nothing short of spectacular. From the grand entranceway with custom-built doors and deer antler handles, his home is almost reminiscent of a great Viking hall. A high-vaulted ceiling gives the home a definite sense of grandeur, and each and every inch of this home is filled with beauty and the charm which only a hand-built home can boast. This truly is one of the finest examples of DIY building we've seen so far.
I'd always wanted to build my own home, and I sort of thought that it's really the most realistic option for me. I thought it'd be a really fun sort of artistic project. Because it's smaller, you can go a bit more grandiose on the inside, and so that excited me. And so yeah, I kind of just jumped in, bought a trailer, and went to town building.
Melbourne, Australia features twice in this year's highlights as we visit the beautiful home of Dolly. Dolly's tiny house on wheels might look like a giant doll's house, but in reality, this wonderful, character-filled home is one of the most impressive designs we've come across so far.
When I told my family that I'm gonna be building a tiny house on wheels, they thought that was weird, and my brother actually laughed at me.
Inside, the home's design is a bit like a game of Tetris, and it really is incredible just how much has been fit into this tiny house. The whole tiny house was designed around Dolly's smaller stature, which enabled her to fit some really amazing features into this home, such as a loft office where she can even stand at her desk, and an incredible walk-in wardrobe. No way. Is that a walk-in wardrobe?
Yes.
That is ridiculous. A tiny house with a walk-in wardrobe. There is no way that I could stand up in here. But wow, what a great idea. The best tiny house designs come from where people truly design their homes around their own unique needs. And Dolly's home is easily one of the best examples we've seen so far of people constructing a home perfectly to suit them. This may be a tiny house, but there's nothing little about the ideas that have gone into making this a truly beautiful and well thought out home.
When I designed it, it's not I'm gonna decorate it that way or that. I originally wanted a bohemian, rustic kind, but then look at how different it is. It's white and feminine, and because that's me. So it's not the idea of having this design that seems cool and nice, but it evolved based on what is me, based on my personality.
Next up, our travels take us to Washington State and the absolutely stunning shipping container home of Jamie and Dave. This beautiful home has been constructed from one 40-foot container with a 20-foot shipping container stacked on top. With Dave's metalworking skills and Jamie's eye for design, this power couple set about constructing the home for themselves with the dream of living a debt and mortgage-free life together. Their dream was almost abruptly cut short, as one day while working on the container home, Dave suffered a major brain bleed.
But it was funny, he's laying in the hospital bed right before they life-flighted him for surgery, and he whispered, barely, but he whispered, "I don't have time for this. We're building a house."
Right.
And I just
didn't have
kept
time
thinking,
for that.
it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay.
Thankfully, Dave, with Jamie always by his side, was able to recover from this ordeal, and the construction of their container home was even used in Dave's rehabilitation.
His therapist actually used our deck and the stairs as part of his therapy to learn the cognitive problem-solving part again, the dexterity with his fingers, the feeling and sensation with the screws and the drill. So it was scary for me to watch him using power tools when he couldn't.
It was almost therapeutic.
It was. And it gave him a purpose and a reason to get out of bed every day and a reason to get up off the couch.
After years of hard work, their dream home is constructed, and they are quickly turning their plot of land amongst the beautiful Pacific Northwest forest into their own personal paradise. The home is beautiful, but what really makes the story stand out to me is the love and dedication that Jamie and Dave share. That is what truly makes this house a home.
I think it's been a learning process right from the beginning to where we're at right now. And I think it's been something that we would probably not change.
And it wasn't what we were expecting. Our vision was to just get up here mortgage-free. Building tiny seemed like the way to do that. And I think it's exceeded our expectations on a lot of levels. It's introduced us to a healthier lifestyle, a simpler lifestyle, you know, a lifestyle where we can have time and energy and resources to do other things that are really important to us. And so, yeah, I wouldn't go back and change anything either.
We're off the treadmill. We don't need more stuff. We got rid of all of our stuff to make this happen.
Yeah.
And we don't want it back.
And of course, who can forget the tiny house which broke the internet? In the Blue Mountains of New South Wales, Australia, stands the amazingly impressive, ultra-modern tiny house of Matt and Lisa. This is a home which really does have it all. Jet black and with hints of cedar, this modern home has a lot going for it. The home is designed to take full advantage of the Australian weather, with a large outdoor area designed for entertaining. Cat lovers will also be really impressed with the huge cat run built out the back.
Basically, I've got these two cats and they're my children, and I didn't want anything to happen to them moving to the bush. Yeah, works well. They love it, actually.
Stepping inside, this home is breathtaking. The high ceilings and skylights help to make this tiny house feel absolutely huge. Matt's skill as a builder is evident in this home. He has a business remodeling kitchens and bathrooms, and his experience in construction shines through in all of the beautiful details. And there's no doubt about it, this tiny house boasts one of the most impressive bathrooms we have ever seen, with its luxurious double shower. I never thought I would see a tiny house with a double shower.
You're not the only one who said that.
Triple shower, even if
Yeah.
you count the third one there.
This tiny house was an absolute dream to explore, and it really goes to show how it's possible to fit an incredible amount of luxury into a very small home.
I came from a small house, so the transition was pretty easy for me. Coming from a bigger house.
Yeah, it did take me some convincing to sort of wrap my head around the idea at first, but I can genuinely say I don't miss anything from my large, normal house. Designing it and building it together was a fun thing to do as well, you know.
Yeah,
I'm sure we learnt a lot about each other in that
Yeah.
process, so yeah.
we did. It's good. It was fun.
Back home in Auckland, New Zealand, I have to add another huge personal highlight for Rasa and I, which was of course the completion of our very own tiny house on wheels. Rasa and I spend most of our time on the road traveling, and it's so important for us to have a place to come back home to and recharge our batteries. Our home is designed to be completely off the grid, collecting rainwater and generating power through solar. The home is designed to fit within all of the legal road dimensions for safe transport and easy relocation on New Zealand's roads. Inside, the home is light, open, spacious, and even has some really beautiful artistic features, such as the PowerShell inlays, which really add a lot of character and give me a big stupid smile each and every time I see them. Completing this tiny house feels like a really big achievement to me, and it's a place that both Rasa and I are very proud to call home. 2019 really has been such a fantastic year, and I cannot wait to see what 2020 is going to bring. Early in the new year, we're going to have our very first European episodes, which I am so excited about, and those will be coming to you in mid-January after Rasa and I take a very needed break. We're actually going to have our very first 2 weeks off in 3 years, which is amazing. So, have a very, very happy new year. I wish you all the best, and I cannot wait to share more tiny house adventures with all of you in the new year. See you then.